Hola, 皆さん、いらっしゃいませ。今は2番セグメントは日本語を勉強します。皆さん、ありがとうございます。よし。皆さん、ごめんなさい。今は英語を話します。皆さん、どうぞ。ありがとうございます。Hey, welcome everybody. Today we're going into some particles again. We're going to continue on learning particles. Today it is going to be made, which is until or to. I'm going to get a good handle on that. Particles are very, very integral, important to speaking Japanese because without any of that, nobody will understand what you're talking about. So let's not take too long and get started here. I'm gonna formulate some sentences. Here we go. So let's start off with what Made does. Here we go. So, according to All About Particles, Made indicates a time limitation for actions or events, often paired with kara, which is like until, to, until, till, to, saying. So if you're saying, so we're like saying 9 to 5, 9 to 5, but then we would say QG Made Goji, to that extent. So it'll probably look something like this. So it'll look something like this. Scroll this up here. Okay. So. Here we go. QG Made Goji. Here we go. So from 9 until 5 basically saying literally. There you go. O'clock until 5 o'clock. There you go. QG Made Goji. To simplify it. The whole thing. So interesting. I was just saying that, and here's the example that they give. この会社の社員は9時から5時まで働きます。The employees of this company work from 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock. So, yeah, I was writing saying Kuji and Goji. I kind of simplified that immensely. Let's see here. But it would, because remember, we did cover kara before, which is from and because. So it makes sense if we want to say it like this, from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock, we would put kara goji made. If we have to be very specific. So this is cool because if we're going to say from 9 o'clock to until 5 o'clock, we got to remember to say kara. And this is what I was talking about regarding kanji, regarding particles. Because when I said 9 o'clock until 5, I put QG Made Goji. That wouldn't have made sense to Japanese. They'll be like, Goji what? But to be more specific, then you would say QG Kara Goji Made. So let me bold that. And where's the underline? Let's see here. Hmm. Um. Oh, here we go. Underline. All right. So that's made, which is what covers until. There we go. So if anybody, anytime anybody wants to ask you, what the hours are, or from what time to what time, it's very easy. Just say "9 kara goji bade." That's it, from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock. That's the beauty of one of the beauties of Japanese is that you don't have to um, say extremely long lines when it's not necessary, especially when the context is already clear. Um, you don't have to repeat people's sentences. so, um, so to put, so for such a simple sentence with using made from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock, you just say, uh, you just say, "9 kara goji made." Done. You're done. So it's got let's see, how many uses does this have? I think that's pretty much okay. So indicates the place to which an action extends. So and again, it's often paired with kara, like when you're saying from. So let's see. This plane goes from Tokyo to Honolulu. この飛行機は東京からホノルルまで行きます. Now, this is actually a very interesting thing here because if you're using made, the particle, you don't have to use o when utilizing the utilizing verbs. Normally, Honolulu ni ikimasu, but instead of ni, you would say made, because ni, which also means to, but you're replacing that because you're pointing out, that you're going from point A to point B. So let's try a different sentence. Let's do a different sentence. So if someone were to let's see, what would be a good one? Let's see, what would be from here to there? From the bookstore to the library. Alright, so we would say Honya kara maybe not library. Let's say something. Let's use a cool word. Honya kara ikazaya. Ikazaya. Ikazaya made ikimasu. Ikimasu. There we go. Here's made. Alright. So from the bookstore to the ikazaya. Alright. So to is what covers made right there. Okay. So it's okay, the rest here is advanced stuff. We're focusing only on until and to. Okay. So there's three more uses of made, but today we're only focusing on until and to because that's the more common colloquial verbiage That's a very big set of words I said there. That's a big set of English words. I hope I didn't confuse English learners as well. Now, in this one here, Dictionary of Japanese Particles, they got a whole lot of uses of versions of made, like made mo and made to, which is very interesting. But some examples here. That's funny. They got the same exact sentence as all about the particles. Watashi wa 9時から5時まで仕事をします. I work from 9 to 5. But let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I work till 9 to 5. Let's see, what else here? 次のバスまで30分、30分もある. Oh gosh, let's see what they were doing. That threw me off. 次のバスまで30分もある. We have to wait for another 30 minutes until the next bus. So, 次のバスまで, Made is tied to Tsugi no Basu, so it's saying from the next bus, until the next bus. 30分もある. So one of the things I've been noticing with the particles is that they tend to point to the words that come before it, except for when it comes to ganwa. Ganwa's got a unusual connection, got an unusual use. So the perfect example lies here. Let's expand on this. Okay, because made works in conjunction with kara. So at times, because we want to say from X to Z, saying from A to Z. We would say A kara Z made. So let's take a look at this here to understand particles a little better. So we can understand how the particles is being applied grammatically from A. Hold on, let me fix this up. See, because I've always pointed this out a lot throughout my time doing these videos, studying, and that is that when it comes to reading Japanese, Japanese tends to be read backwards, if it makes any sense. And this is actually a very good example. This is actually an example of how words can be read backwards. Until Z from A. So, as you can see, and it's kind of, and it happens too in Spanish, because in Spanish, our adjectives and nouns tend to be reversed. A good example is Estados Unidos, which is United States. Estados being state, Unidos being united, but it's done backwards, and you would have to read it backwards grammatically in reverse order, and that's what Japanese tends to do. Japanese tends to do that in reverse order. When you read things. So instead of saying until Z, we're in Japanese we're saying Z until. So we're saying A from Z until, whereas in English we would say from A until Z. So if you want to be able to understand how to read and speak Japanese grammatically, although don't put too much mental faculty in that, it's just something to make note of, when you're reading, that they flip the order of words and grammatically on a grammatical level. This is just an exercise of understanding the structure. When speaking it and reading it, don't put too much stock in thinking of that. Just let it flow through nicely when you speak and when you read. Just let it flow through nicely. But it's just something to understand what you're dealing with when it comes to handling Japanese. The particles are always the ones that follow your words, whatever words you're trying to emphasize, from A until Z, A kara Z made, or in this case, A from Z made, or or if you were to flip them, around, then you would get kara e made z, which is from A to Z. But that's not the way it's done grammatically in Japanese. You would have to say e kara z made. So, so just so I can elaborate, run home. So imagine, if you will, when we speak to somebody and we just want to be more direct and straightforward, we tell someone, run home. You know what I'm saying? In English, we would say run home. In Japanese, I'll keep this in English. They would say, ie ni. Sorry. Not run home, go home. But we always say go home. Sorry. So we would say go home. That's the order of our sentence. Go home. Here's our verb, and here's the noun. Japanese, they say ie ni ikimasu. If you notice, home is the first word here, and go is the last word in the sentence here. It's in reverse order. So it's go home or home go. Basically, they're saying home go. Where we're saying go home in English, they're saying home go in Japanese. It's so fascinating, so amazing how the grammar works. So it's a good thing to note in terms of trying to understand grammar, the grammatical structure. For the most part, they do reverse the order of verbal inflection when they say things. That's why if you ever watch anime, and they, I don't know why the translators just don't follow along with it. If you look at the translations when they say someone's name, yeah, it's kind of weird. I'll give you the perfect example. Kimetsu no Yaiba. They just did a recent episode, and they then Muzan Kibutsuji arrived, but my man was like, Kibutsuji Muzan, instead of saying Muzan Kibutsuji, but the translation had Muzan and then Kibutsuji. So when you hear my man say Kibutsuji, you see Muzan, and then he's like Muzan, then you see the translation saying Kibutsuji. Once you start learning more Japanese and you start watching anime, you will see how reverse the order is with the English translation with what they're saying. It's pretty trippy, but in every sense of the word, particles the particles are always going to be after words, no matter what, basically. So that's the trick to particles. But there's a lot of particles to learn and memorize in this instance. But once you get a good handle of how once you get a good handle of what the particles are, you'll spot them very easily in the text. Normally, the best way you'll always notice a particle is that particles are always written in hiragana. Always in hiragana. They're always written in hiragana, and you'll find them following kanji most of the time. You'll see them like for example, like for example, um, well, you already see the examples, but let me give you a strong example. Let me get a good kuruma が車が let's say 0. I don't know how to say kilometers, but I'll just keep it to this here. kph kph から I believe it's 80 kph for 60 miles, 0 to 60. I might be wrong. You can correct me on that one. まで いきます。Let's see. Let's see here. Hold on. Kuruma ga, what speed? Let me get the kanji for speed here. Speed. Come on, give me speed. There we go. Sokudo. There we go. Sokudo. Let's see here. No. Paste. There we go. Sokudo. Sokudo. Okay. So here we go. So I don't have a particle for this, as you can see here. So don't have a particle. So what we're saying is car can go from 0 kilometers kph until 60 kilometers. This is just a sample of how particles would work out. So we want can. Okay. Actually, kuruma no. I just realized kuruma no, which is another particle. Car speed. There we go. Actually, I think I solved it. Car speed. Kuruma no. There we go. Ga. Here we go. Here's a whole bunch of particles. There we go. Ga. There we go. So we got no. Where is it? No. Got. Kara. And made. Alright. It's not exactly great or anything, but it's just to emphasize a point regarding the particles, why they're very important. So we got sokudo. So we're saying kuruma no sokudo ga 0 kilo kara 80 kilo まで行きます. So what's happening here is that no is connecting, and no is saying is connecting the car and it's tied to the car. Hold on, let me put car is tied to no. It's pointing to no. Okay. Sokudo is tied to okay, maybe I should just copy paste the arrow so we can make a nice firm arrow. There we go. Is tied to ga. Okay. 0 kph is tied to kara. Okay. 80 kph is tied to made. Tied to made. So okay. Alright. So no in this context is more of the possessive. Normally it could be the possessive as or it could be of, but in this case here in the context this is possessive because it's about the car's speed. So it's saying car's speed. So the no is your possessive s. No is tied to the car. Ga, which is the topic. This is the topic particle. It's pointing to sokudo, but also by extension car no. So in a sense here, let me do this. Cars. There we go. Yeah. I don't know why I put sokudo. Should be speed. Speed. So the car's speed is what the ga is pointing at the whole entire thing, since this is a possessive situation. So kuruma no sokudo ga. So the car's speed. That's the topic. Then I forgot to put this here. Kara. Okay. So maybe I could make things a little easier if I push everything down, because now it's starting to get all squishy. There we go. So there we go. So no is tied to the car because that's the possessive. Ga is tied to speed, and by extension car no, the possessive. Kara is tied to 0 kilometers, and made is tied to 80 kilometers. So that's how they're all tied together. And what it's saying is, and basically it's telling a Japanese listener or a native Japanese person that the car speed goes from 0 kilometers until 80 kilometers. Although could put a little bit more to that, you know, like in 60 seconds or something like that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that to understand the particles, they always come after whatever the word is tied to, and is basically emphasizing what it's saying. So in terms of English, we're saying cars can go from 0 kilometers until 60 kilometers. So we don't normally call these particles. We call these something else. I forgot what they were. Shoot, I gotta go into my Strunks and White to get that. We have a term for that in grammar. Let's see here. Here we go. Got Strunks and White's Elements of Style. Highly recommend it for you writers out there, English writers. Very good grammatical book. Let me see here. Let me go into the index. Maybe I can find it. Let's see. Form for. Let's see. There was a term for that. I might not be able to find it. I don't want to waste too much time trying to find it. Let's see if I can utilize a unique update. let's see. Is that participle? Participle, right? Is that what we call them? Participles? Let's see. I think that no, I don't think that's participle. Let's see. No, I don't think that's participle. I thought it was participle, but it's not. Yeah, I thought it was a participle. That's what I was thinking of, but I think that's conjunction. I think that's a conjunction because no, crap. I thought no, shoot. We had there's a oh well. Yeah, I couldn't remember it, but I can't remember it right now. But it's but basically it's the same. It's the same similar rules. You know what I mean? Because if you see here, it's saying from zero until, and they're doing it the same way. It's just that they put the particles after the words, where we put them before the words. They will put from and until after we put it before it. So that's how it operates basically. So my day, very simple. You can use that in place of ni. If you're emphasizing that you're going that if it's from one location to another, make sure to use kara, because kara means from, and as well as because. But in terms of locations, make sure if you're gonna say from X to Z, you use kara. Yeah, that's basically it. Very simple, very straightforward. You can use that to connect with verbs that are motion based, like ikimasu or hairimasu, just to return. Return from until. And a little bit understanding of particles, because then they're not that difficult. You just put them after, pretty much, and yeah, and culturally speaking, in terms of similarities, yeah, Spanish, it's kind of like particles. Particles are sort of like what happens with adjectives in Spanish, where adjectives goes after the noun that it's tied to. The particles go after the noun or the subject or whatever specific word it's targeting. In that sense, pretty much. So yeah, it's basically just reversing the grammatical order of statements, of words that tie together. Once you understand that and get a good handle of it, particles won't be that difficult, and you'll be able to tell what's a particle and what's not a particle in the long run. But there is a lot of particles. I mean, just look how thick this and the dictionary are. They're pretty thick. There's a lot, and keep in mind that particles really carry multiple meanings. Like I said, made has five different meanings, and this is just two of them. Until and to. So, yeah, that's it. Mina san, どうぞコメント、like, subscribe をください. I thought that was redundant. 来週まで. Good night. Buenas noches. おやすみなさい.